All right, welcome to Quarantine Check-In. My guest today is one of the Salsa Parlor boys, James Couture.
Hi there.
How are you holding up in this time of quarantine?
Oh, we're holding up okay. This is a very comfortable chair. It's been pretty reliable. Uh, we're doing okay here. We're doing all right. We're well fed. Excuse me. That's that's not how you want to start at all.
And you were my first guest with the virus.
Apologize. I just spew fucking root beer all over the screen. Typical heartburn. Your turn to cough now. Okay. It's the coolest thing. Everyone's doing it.
Yes.
No, we're doing okay. We got a lot to occupy our time, and we're all going slowly insane as opposed to everyone's rapid insanity.
I love the fact that you guys are putting content pretty much every night.
Yeah, we have something to do. That's for sure. Since we started doing the morning show podcast on Fridays, we'll post a sketch at least once a week.
And then your weekly comedy show.
Yeah, and then we do we still do the live feed comedy show, and I've been doing check-ins like this that you're doing on Instagram Live. Taking this week off. Just been a little bit of a grind. I don't know how many of these have you done so far?
I'm produced about 40 so far.
I'm sorry, what was that?
40 something so far.
Yeah, that's a lot. You got it right when the quarantine happened, huh? You started these?
Well, I'm going to reveal right now. I created a virus just to be able to do a daily podcast like this.
This is you're growing the ladder for the show.
And I just want to be an evil genius, kind of like Dr. Doom or Lex Luthor.
Definitely, especially when you like lounge on your couch like that.
Yeah.
You're definitely like, oh, these peasants.
Well, in my bedroom, I have a throne that comes out of the floor. My cat just sits on my lap. And so,
oh, that's definitely where you should be doing this from. I think you made a poor decision.
I did make a poor decision, but the internet sucks in my bedroom.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, that's terrible.
Yeah.
You got a jack off in your living room?
Well, no, I could still jack off in the bedroom. Where you're supposed to.
God can't see you.
What?
I said where God can't see you.
Well, God can, because
that's where the lights go out. He don't want to follow you in there.
I'm one of his chosen people, and he chooses me to entertain him.
Jewish God is a perv. He likes to get involved.
Well,
tag me in, bro. I'm God.
No, God's like, bro, you're on your own, literally.
I'm out of here. Then he does a wheelie on his motorcycle and he just stays on the wheelie as he leaves town.
You think God would have a sidecar on his motorcycle?
Jesus would want one, but he's like, nah, I ride alone.
Yeah, well, he'd have his disciple.
A monolithic, baby.
That's funny.
God would have the loudest motorcycle. God's motorcycle would be so obnoxious.
It would. It would have some pretty cool artwork on it.
Yeah. Like not flames at all. Like it would be like the golden feathers. And you'd have the big exhaust spokes.
But it wouldn't cause pollution. It would make the earth smell like flowers.
I feel like it would emit cancer immediately because God's responsible for that.
Yeah, maybe.
He just rides around Earth on his cancer-emitting motorcycle.
Because heaven needs more people.
He likes company. He's an attention hound. He's already told the same story to everybody 5 times. He needs fresh ears.
I remember that time I fucked over Satan and evicted him from paradise.
I made all of this, right?
And there's some people who don't give me any credit. Atheists.
What's your major? Is God walking up to people asking that question?
I already know it. So how else have you been coping during this horrible time?
Alcohol helps. Probably a little too much intake. It's like wine, or I'll have a cocktail. We'll have Trulies. We'll have little tiny parties. I'm not too bad during the daytime. I'm pretty active. I'm pretty productive. And then after 5 o'clock, I'm definitely thinking about it. I'm not really getting down on my day drinking. So I'm being responsible in that regard, but I have a pretty high tolerance, so I can my intake is a little bit more than it probably should be.
I have no tolerance.
No, you're a cheap date.
I used to be a pretty good drinker, but I don't really anymore. So when I have 2 beers, I am, woo.
Yeah, no, I'm a pretty seasoned drinker. I'm really good at it. But no, on top of that, I got a lot of reading that I'm still trying to get through. Like I always read like 5 books at once, so I'm like between 3 of them right now. I've been helping some other people. They've gotten a hold of me to work some writing things out, whether it's short story or sketch or whatever, and then going into the salsa parlor work that we have between podcasting and the shows and our meetings that we do for our writing meetings and then re-editing scripts. I'm pretty busy.
That's cool. That's cool. So let's go back to the beginning. What made you want to start doing comedy?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I always grew up watching it. Like my dad's a big fan of it. So it was always kind of on the TV. My family loves movies and stand up. My dad actually saw Steve Martin live when he was touring.
That must have been cool.
So he came to Saginaw. He did the Dow Event Center or whatever it was when Steve Martin was coming around, and so he always has a really good like connection with stand up, and like Steve Martin was a big insight for me, mainly for the reason like it was one of my dad's favorite comedians. So like sitting down and you'd like, all right, these are the guys you want to watch. I got shown like the greats like real early with my dad, so he would say. You watch Bill Murray, you watch John Candy, you watch Steve Martin. And I don't know, I liked In Living Color. I was a big Saturday Night Live fan. So I just grew up watching a lot of comedies. Like In Living Color was amazing. Even Mad TV was good. And I didn't really think stand-up was something you could do. I don't know if you felt like that coming up because of being like mostly a Michigan grown guy that just like, okay, those are chosen people. They were like picked out of like some random fortune teller. They could have fame and fortune, and then I found out you could just like do it. You could just like go to like have a mic opportunity.
Where was your first open mic?
I was in Saginaw, and a guy was running a one-off show at Woody O'Brien's on Hamilton Street. I don't know if you've ever been.
Yeah.
And it was a bar I was actually working at. I was a bar back. And I was going back to college, so it was like one of my 3 different jobs I was doing at the time. And I was kind of at my wit's end. I was like 27. Not really. I was like finishing school, was going to be a teacher. I wasn't really happy with the trajectory of things, but I always wanted to try it. And a guy that I knew who was running it, Drew Grimaldi, who's not a comedian anymore, but he gave me my first 5 minutes. He didn't give me the light, so I went for 7. But it was in a familiar place. I did pretty well. I gotta say, I was in a familiar spot though, and I had friends and family there, so it was kind of in my favor to do well. I've always been kind of funny guy, storyteller, but like I rehearsed. Like it was probably the first time I've ever like done a bunch of pacing, getting the lines right, saying it out loud, timing myself. I probably haven't done something like that in a long time. I usually just go up and kind of put it together in a much different fashion now. But yeah, I did it when I was 27. I always wanted to. Didn't think that was something that was accessible. And then I found out it was accessible. And I've been kind of trying to make it even more accessible the last 6 years since. So
that's cool. I remember the first time I saw you, probably several months before I actually met you, was at the Kill Tony in Lansing. And you told what I think is one of those brilliant jokes about the less dry setting on the dryer.
Yeah, there's a feature on my dryer called Less Dry. And then I give you one of these guys.
I remember Robert Novak, who I don't think does comedy anymore. I turned to him and said, "That is the best idea for a joke, and it's so fucking simple." And I was jealous that I didn't think of that.
It's a pretty easy joke when you really sit down and look at it, but I feel like some of those like small simplicity viewpoints are really, really funny because there's always like what the hell? Who Why? Why do that? Why name it this way? There's always like those head scratcher ones are always like, get a load of that, would you?
But what I thought was brilliant about it was so short, it was so simple, and as comics, we tend to overwrite everything at the beginning.
Right. Because like with the setup of it, there's no real punchline. It's just like this thing exists.
And well, that's the punchline.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I lean into it. I go into it a little bit more and more, and I got tags upon tags for it that I go through. I'm always reworking that one. That one's always, it's like I refer to it as like my side shooter. I always have it. It's always loaded. If I'm like struggling, like I can always like, pull that one out. I'll get everyone back on my side, and I can power through the rest of it.
How long has that been in your set?
Probably just the last, I would say the last 2 years.
Okay. And you lived out in California for a while. Was that in LA or San Francisco?
No, it was Northern California, so it was north of San Francisco, honestly. It was Humboldt, California. It's on the Pacific North Coast. Like it's like we were right on the coastline, 4 hours from the border of Oregon. So to put it in perspective, San Francisco was a 5-hour drive south for us.
Oh wow.
The state's huge. It's so big.
Yeah, I've been to San Francisco and I've been to LA, but never to LA.
So I moved out to Humboldt, California in 2015. I just had completed my schooling. I was done with my student teaching. I had a year of stand-up under my belt. I was living in Saginaw. I was in my parents' room above the garage type situation. I really wanted out. I needed a change of scenery. And my brother's like 3 years younger than me, and we're pretty close. So we wanted to talk about that time together where we would live together, because life's going to happen. We're probably never going to have that opportunity again. Now seems like the time to do that. So I packed up my car and drove 3 days out with a buddy, and I lived in Humboldt, California for 2.5 years. And thankfully there was a little comedy scene there. So that's where the Savage Henry crew is.
Okay.
And I got in with the comedy show that's there, their magazine. I was a contributor for, still contribute some things here and there, mostly cartoons. And then I was just running shows and putting together showcases and emceeing for them, doing podcasts. And then I just kind of got a little homesick, I guess. That's the main reason why I moved home.
That's why I moved back to Michigan as well.
Where were you? Were you in?
I was in Kansas City.
Okay. I lived in Kansas City for a little bit. My brother lives there right now with his fiance, who is also a stand-up comedian.
It's a great city, and they have a really good comedy scene.
Yeah, it's a fun one, and then the food there is amazing. I don't know if you even if you're a vegan, the barbecue is still pretty good, like the sauces and everything.
I love the barbecue there. My favorite place was this place called Slap Barbecue, which stood for Squeal Like a Pig.
That's fun.
And I hated the lines there, but they had some of the best barbecue I've ever had.
Have you ever been? It's Kansas City Joe's now, but it used to be Oklahoma Joe's.
I've been to that gas station and waited in line for lunch.
It's delicious. It's the best barbecue in town, I swear.
Yeah, I thought it was overrated.
Oh no! You don't respect the Bourdain nod it got?
No, I respect that, but out of all the barbecue I had there, it wasn't as good as Slaps.
What did you get?
The sandwich that everyone talked about.
The Z-Man?
Yeah.
That sandwich is dope. But you put the spicy barbecue on it?
It was delicious. It just wasn't as good as Slaps.
I want to get the ribs next time I go, because every time I go, I do get the Z-Man, because it's the perfect barbecue sandwich. Brisket with an onion ring. And is it provolone cheese?
I can't have dairy, so I can't have the cheese.
Okay.
But
that's a shame.
Yeah,
next time I want to go get like a half a slack of ribs, because I bet their ribs are like at least nationally famous.
My goal for this summer was to go back there and do some shows, but who knows if that will happen.
Yeah, who knows? Definitely. But I want to. Yeah, I got because my sister-in-law, future sister-in-law, she was a friend of mine out in Humboldt, and that's how her and my brother met, because he came to some shows and we were friends. And now they live in Kansas City together. She knows the scene and
Is
gets
she
in there.
doing?
So I'm
Is she,
trying to like bop down that way myself.
is she doing comedy out there?
She did like the first year that they were living there. She's been kind of going back to school and doing the work grind. And now that she's getting married, there's a lot of different things. She hasn't had a lot of time of the past year, but she's been doing stand up for 7-8 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Really good scene there too. So hopefully she'll get back into it.
Yeah, I hear good things about their improv, and she says it's a pretty tight knit, collaborative group of people.
It is lots of good people. Let's go back. So what are your goals once this is all over?
The quarantine or the world?
Well, let's go with the quarantine. The world's not just yet.
Yeah. So when this is over, I know everyone's kind of like biting their nails to get back on stage. I'm probably going to take it pretty slow. Honestly, this whole time has put a lot of things that I need to switch some priorities around because my perspectives have completely kind of shifted during this time. I put a lot of my energies into different types of writing, and like I've still been writing jokes, but like nothing I'm like stellar in love with. Like they're all garbage. They're all like open mic type jokes. I got like almost maybe 3 keepers that I'll toss around when this whole thing goes. But I'm gonna be a slow boat out to the mics. I might still go hang out. It's not like a fear of bombing thing either. It's just like I don't feel that sudden like rush to get back on the stage to places that won't sit and listen. Like my whole perspective of like and my points of like importance of where I was going. I don't know if I'm making sense there, but it's just I know what I want to do, and I'm a little more focused on that than just like trying to get my time in.
That's cool. It's understandable too. Like I'm want to go back and do shows, but I'm also afraid that first time I go back out there, the room will be packed and I will get sick.
Yeah, that overhaul, that second spike is a big explanation point in my head of my little Metal Gear Solid point. Like I don't want to have any issues there. And if I'm being a little more vague about how I'm explaining this, it's just because I haven't really compartmentalized a lot in my own head yet. I'm still reprioritizing everything and trying to. Comedy's definitely at the front and center of all of it, but stand up in general is just something I know I'll like once I get the rust back off, it'll be fine. Like I'm not worried about it.
That's good. I mean, I like your stuff, and I hope to see you out there sooner than later. But
Thank you. I don't know. Like we've been doing the sketch stuff real hard, and there's a couple other like podcasty and even like desk type of humor, like kind of like late night type of stuff that I want to flirt with a lot more because I've been doing stand up like hard for like 6 years. So like technically like we came off like 6.5 years. I've been doing stand up almost consistently since I started. Like I didn't know you take your breaks, you like a week or two here and there, but like I've been doing it in like shit. I can't tell you how many different scenes right now. I'm kind of a hopper. Like every 3 years I get a little itchy and I have to bounce around. But that's how I feel anyway. Like I've been back in Michigan going on 3 years, and that's when I started getting like, okay, what next? I don't know. I moved around a lot when I was young too, so there's something inherently there that like I don't settle.
I'm the same way. From 2009 to 2018, I lived in Seattle, Pittsburgh, Birmingham, Alabama, Kansas City, back here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a lot of moving around. Like it's hard to like keep your bones rested in that regard. I feel like I have the urge like I have to do it. Like it feels like nature They're like, okay, now I'm heavily considering what the next move is, and I have no idea what that looks like, which is now making my priority list jumble up because you got to figure out where you're going to be in X amount of time and how those priorities fall in line with that goal.
No, I agree with you on that one. One thing I wanted to talk about, we both like reading comic books.
We do. I see you're wearing the Flash shirt right there.
I am. He is one of my favorite characters.
Barry Allen?
I am a Wally West fan
Okay.
because Wally West is my Flash. But I also like Jay Garrick. I like the hat.
Yeah, I do. I do like the hat a lot. I like in Kingdom Come when Alex Ross, his design for the characters, he does the cap. I like it a lot.
Alex Ross is an amazing artist. But
It's crazy. He's an artist for sure. Like I count a lot of comic book artists in the realm of like high art, and Alex Ross is amazing.
he is. I loved Marvels. I loved Kingdom Come. I kind of liked Astro City, but he only did the covers.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to you. You posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago about an Old Man Cyclops series.
Yeah, why not? Everyone else is good. They got an old man Hawkeye. Let's get an old man Cyclops in there.
Since we were going back and forth on it, I decided to plot out the 3-issue miniseries.
Okay, let's hear it.
First issue, Cyclops is torn between Jean Grey and Emma.
Okay.
And he is in a love triangle. He also has Wolverine constantly killing himself by scratching his head with his claws out. How someone so pitiful like Cyclops could get 2 women like that.
Oh.
Issue 2, Cyclops kills Professor Xavier. Again. Wolverine once again kills himself by scratching his head to figure out how Cyclops, one of the wussiest members of the X-Men, can kill Xavier numerous times.
Oh, man.
Issue 3, Cyclops dies, but not from anything stupid, just from slipping in the bathtub because he forgot
in the bathtub. He's alone in the bathtub. No psychic hottie around. No Wolverine to pester him. So you think Cyclops is a wussy?
I think he's a character who's been so damaged over the years that he's not repairable.
Because I agree with the unrepairableness of him because he is damaged with the daddy issues. How many times has Jean died? He's always in some kind of psychic love twist and affair. Even when he was with Jean Grey, he was flirting with Psylocke, or she was like there was some weird psychic affair there, and then she dies.
Reading at that point.
Emma comes in. There's always these psychics around Cyclops like crazy, but he's a natural born leader. He's a fucking great tactician, and he's a bit of a badass. He rides a motorcycle. He's just a little bit of a pretty boy.
I don't know. I think he used to be.
He's got great fighting skills.
Yeah, he takes off.
I loved Schism. Schism was great. Him and versus Wolverine.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it's good. Definitely check it out.
The X-Men, I kind of have a love-hate relationship. Like when I was a kid, they were my favorite team because they were the outcast. I was an outcast, so I'm like, I'd be a member of them.
Would the movies ruin it for you?
I like one X-Men movie. I like First Class.
Oh, okay. Well, that was definitely the better one. I mean, X2 is the best one out of, I think, that group of movies. But, like, there's so many of them, Robert, that I pretend never happened.
Oh, yeah, like Wolverine Origins.
It was garbage.
Yeah.
I walked out of X-Men 3.
I didn't. I had to see how bad it got.
It's garbage. So bad. Logan is great. The Deadpool series is good.
I've been watching on Disney Plus. I've been watching the X-Men the animated series.
Oh yeah, you're going back through that. They're a little off.
How good it was.
The animations is kind of, it can be fun and quirky, but
it was cheap. It was definitely
it's real cheap. It's like G.I. Joe cheap.
Oh, those are bad too. They put all on YouTube a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have Disney Plus?
No. They put all the G.I. Joes up on YouTube.
Oh, the G.I. Joes. Okay.
Yeah, I have Disney Plus for now.
I just watched the Community episode where Jeff Winger has a in coma G.I. Joe dream. It's pretty hilarious because it's all animated.
What's your favorite Community episode besides paintball?
Beside paintball. The Darkest Timeline is pretty fun when they're playing Yahtzee.
Are you watching Joel McHale and Ken Jeong's new podcast, The Darkest Timeline?
No, I didn't know that was a
They
thing.
put them on YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great. I love the show a lot. I would say, I love all the hijinks. Like the running gags are so fun to me. Like the Dean is a character that I never get tired of, regardless of how annoying he is.
He's so
I would say maybe. Oh man, I love how they give the middle finger to Glee. I'm just running through 6 seasons in the last 2 weeks in my head.
Yeah, the choir episode, the Glee Club episode was phenomenal.
Yeah. I'll say the Subway episode. I think that's a really fun one. I'm going to say that one's sticking out in my head the most right now because the guy from the Diet Dr. Pepper commercials.
Okay.
He's like for the national championship commercials they would make, like ice cold Dr. Pepper here. That guy. He's like the head of Subway, and he has his whole Subway horde like march in unison with him.
Yes, those were great. I think that was really funny because they had to bring an in-show sponsor to it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good synergy right there.
Let's Chips. They were making fun of themselves all the time. It's really fun meta humor. I like a lot. The Floor is Lava. That's a really good one.
That is a good one.
Because that was Donald Glover's last episode.
I was hoping he'd come back for the 6th season.
I'm okay. He didn't. He was doing other things.
My favorite.
He left the right way.
He did. He's on a Lost at Sea with LeVar Burton.
Yeah, that's great.
I think my favorite episode is My Dinner with Andre Pulp Fiction episode.
Yeah, that's good. Where he goes all normal on Jeff and it breaks Jeff.
Talks about Cougar Town.
Yeah, Cougar Town. I love the big middle fingers to the other networks. It's so great.
It's a shame that show just never really caught on.
Cougar Town? I know. It was like a TBS original, and then it went to ABC.
It was ABC and then went to TBS.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about Community. How when it aired, nobody fucking watched.
Yeah, Community is one of those shows that really got the runaround. It was on the Dan Harmon drama, the Chevy drama, the Russo brothers coming in and kind of breathing life back into it, and then Harmon coming back. The last season they made a lot of like Scrub references because they were doing kind of the piecemealing last season of Scrubs together as well. So I think as far as the show is concerned, its ability to make fun of itself is pretty great.
It is, and they had so many classic episodes during their time, and even the non-Harmon year, there were some good episodes on there.
Yeah, like all the paintball ones are great. Anytime they're doing some kind of like huge over-encompassing bit where like the whole school's involved, it's hilarious. The Ass Crack Bandit is fantastic.
Oh yeah. And
the Law and Order episode is perfect.
I forgot about that one. That one is so good. I need to go back and rewatch the series from the start.
Yeah, now that I say it, that Law and Order one is probably my favorite one.
Such a good show. Such a good show. I love it. What else? What other comics do you like reading?
Well, it depends, because like I'm a big character guy when it comes. Obviously, it's a comic book, so like I'm a huge Wolverine fan. Like my entire collection is mostly Wolverine, but I like New Avengers. When it was Luke Cage, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Wolverine, and the Sentry. I really like that. I like a lot of when the universe comes together. Like I always love those anthologies, like Annihilation or Secret Invasion or House of M, Civil War. All those. Like I love those big titles. I try to like keep up in the realm of comic books that way. But on Instagram, I'll read a lot of Batman.
You can read comics on Instagram?
Yeah, well, like not like full things, honestly. But if you go to your search and you like comic books, like you can read like a panel, like this is like a 6-panel Rogue and Gambit one.
Okay.
It's just an excerpt from a larger piece. But if you follow the right people, you can read a whole issue somewhere along the line. You can get caught up easy.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Because comic books, as we know, are really expensive, and I'm poor, so that's how I get my fix. I'm mostly on Instagram, on search, reading comics.
Comics are way too expensive now.
Yeah, they really are. If a big issue's coming out, I'll put the money in for the investment.
I usually buy trades. Like that way, there's a website called In Stock Trades who should become a sponsor of this because I will pimp them out. You get like trades for 50 or 60% off.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
What other TV shows or movies do you like?
Oh, here's another group of comics that I got into. They're like, I guess they're like comics, but I got them in the collections and the volumes. That's not like Marvel or DC. It's is it Paper Girls?
Oh, that was fucking great.
Yeah, like I got into like 6 volumes. I was dating somebody who had like the first 4, and I was like thumbing through them, and then I got really into it. I think I'm behind now if there's a volume 7 or 8 out right now.
6 was the final volume.
6 was?
I think so, or 7.
Okay, then I read 5 as the last one. Okay. But yeah, it's a great series. It's right up there with Stranger Things and like the best parts of like Lost that you like, the adventureness that you like about it. It's right up there with it's great. It's the one where the goat people and the winged people are fighting.
Hold on, I've been reading so much stuff.
I'm forgetting the name of it. I feel bad now for even bringing it up.
That'll come to me later on, probably like 3 days after we record this.
It's like a big epic. It might be called Epic. I'm not.
No. Fuck.
There are robots with TV heads.
Oh,
royalty. Saga, yeah, Saga. Saga's great.
That was a book I did not get into. I read the first 2 issues and I said, "Fuck this, Brian."
What, too sexy for you?
I thought it was. I'll tell you, the TD people kind of threw me off. It kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, that's a little bit off.
But I thought I didn't know where it was going. I thought it was kind of boring. And then probably about 6 months ago, I was talking to Haley Zurich, and she was selling me on the book. Like she said, "This is the greatest comic ever." And
it's pretty fun. It's well written.
It is, and like right.
The tale as old as time.
Yeah, aliens from different races fuck each other, have a kid.
Oh, it's a Romeo Juliet whole storyline.
Yes, with a baby.
And then I like the lying cat is the best one.
I am not that far into it. Because I picked up the big compendium and only read the first like 6.
Oh, there's a bunch of like side plots that are so great. You'll love it.
I'm in love with the book now,
and I'm a big fan of the illustration. The artwork in it is pretty simple, but it's super appealing.
And it's so fucking consistent, at least in the first 6 issues.
No, it really is all the way through.
Yeah, I'm in love.
I've read 4 volumes.
Yeah, I don't know how many there were. I think there were. I don't know how many issues there were because I know the series ended. And
I was reading them in the collection, so
there's
a lot of them out right now.
It's a good book. All right, what other TV shows or movies are you into?
I will consume trash. That's not a thing. I won't watch bad TV. I watched all of Gotham, like before the quarantine even happened.
Okay.
Like I'm making a point to get through it because it was so bad. And all the boys would come down and they'd be like, "What are you watching?" And I'll be like, "Gotham." They're like, "How is it?" And I'll be like, "Bad."
I liked the final episode of it.
See, they were. I don't know. They lost complete track of what they were trying. They tried to do throwbacks to old like Adam Westy angles, which I thought was fun and goofy. But then like when they brought Bane in and they did the whole like Dark Knight Rises arc involved in, I was like, come on, do something else. Like just don't rip off Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I hated the Dark Knight Rises.
Oh yeah, no. Did you think it was not like a realistic branch off from Dark Knight? Because I think the Dark Knight Rises succeeds in how realistic of a threat Bane could be in a world that type of Joker was a threat.
No, I was living in Pittsburgh when they filmed it,
Oh,
and they filmed a lot of it in my neighborhood. So I
so
had
you
to.
have petty reasons to dislike it.
Yes, I had to take my walk into work several days.
Yeah, I'd hate that movie too. Stupid movie. Get my commute on.
And I lived right by the stadium, so I couldn't even get my car into where I normally parked it on the day they were filming there. So Christopher Nolan can suck it for all I care. For fucking me over.
In terms of things that I like that are of quality, like I said, I grew up being a real big sketch comedy fan. So like like Kids in the Hall and like Monty Python is a huge uh, uh, impact on my whole philosophy of comedy and sketch comedy in that regard. Like I think Monty Python and the Meaning of Life is one of the best sketch movies ever made.
I will agree with you there.
But I've been watching a lot of sketch recently. So like going back and watching I Think You Should Leave, Tim Robinson's sketch show on Netflix.
Phenomenal.
It's great. I'm so glad it got picked up for a second season. We should be doing that. Maybe hopefully sometime soon after this. But it's super funny, and some of them are super quick. Some of them make fun of themselves. It's so great. I just finished watching a Black Lady sketch show on HBO.
How's that?
That's super fun. It's super good.
I'll have to check it out. It's been
The joke stacking that they do is great. It's pretty fun show. And then I just float in and out of these like sketch show type. I tried to watch Eliza's, and I can only get through so much of it. She's not for me.
I'm not a fan of hers at all. Like she seems like she would not be a fun person to hang out with.
I don't know anything. I can't make any kind of like snap judgment personally. I've never met her or like her circles. I recognize that she's popular and like on top of her game. It's just not. It's a subjective. It's not for me.
No, we'll agree on that one. I just don't like her. I think one of my favorite sketch shows was SCTV.
Sure. Yeah. I like Old Strange Brew. Rick Moranis.
Oh, that is the best adaptation of Hamlet ever filmed.
I love that. It was a good movie.
It's a great movie. It made me love hockey and putting mice in beer to get a refund.
Yeah, but like, didn't Martin Short used to be on SCTV as well with John Candy?
Yeah, he came in one of the later seasons.
Eugene Levy.
Yep. The original cast was Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, John Candy, Joe Flaherty, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas.
What a great fucking cast!
It's a great show. I was lucky enough. I was at a dollar store about 9 years ago, and they had all the series on DVD there, like for $5 each. I'm like, I can't pass this up. So I took them home and just watched all of them.
Yeah, I love all that old stuff. Lou has the first couple seasons of Saturday Night Live on DVD. So when I get bored of like watching Netflix, I'll go to the old DVD collection, pop that in, and watch some old Bill Murray.
Yeah, that's
Martin hosting.
That stuff is great. Normally, we're about done. Normally, I end this with reading a misconnection from Craigslist.
Oh, I missed those.
They're back. And if you could riff a joke off of it, that would be great.
Sure.
All right, so this was from Inkster, Michigan.
Oh, classic.
13 hours ago. It's called Crest Motel. We were both checking into the Crest on Fort and West Grand River. You were a pretty young lady. I would like to spend some time with you if you wanted. We could even hang out there since we have the same interests. There were a lot of pretty ladies there. Feel free to drop me a line.
Drop me a line. Did he leave his number?
He did not.
How are they going to drop that line?
You can respond on Craigslist.
Oh, I guess you can. You can do a response to that. I love that he said we have so many things in common. Within the context of what he said, the only two things that they have in common is checking in at the Crest Motel, and then there were a lot of good-looking ladies there.
What I want to know is, how does he know what her interests are?
He's like, we both come to the same shitty motel. It's not even a hotel. It's a motel. We have similar interests, like getting crusty at the crusty motel.
We both like bed bugs.
We both like bloodstains covered up by pieces of art.
We both like those outlines of people you can find on the floor of every room.
We both love the mattress with the quarter machine at the front that makes it vibrate.
We love the painting with the eyes that move.
Oh man, the Crest Motel. They got color TV.
And adult entertainment if you peek in the windows of the room next to you.
Hi, do you have air conditioning? Nah, y'all can open a window.
Oh man, it sounds like they should be a sponsor as well because we just made the Crest Motel.
They don't validate parking. This is the Crest Motel. Keep it moving.
I was going to drive by it today just to see what it looked like.
Now renting by the hour. Crest Motel.
No. Quarantine special. 15 minutes.
Get in, get out, keep it revolving. These ladies are working.
Massage bed action.
That'd be a hell of a way for a misconnection in that kind of situation. I've never been to the Crest Motel. Maybe it's a 4-star establishment. I'm only guessing. But that'd be a great way for a pimp to start turning out tricks. Just, hey, girl, we got the same friggin' priorities, baby. We got so much in common. I love you forever, girl.
Well, let's see what Yelp has to say about it.
The Crest Motel.
It has 2 stars.
Ooh.
Alfred, 2 years ago, wrote, great service and honest staff. I left a computer tablet there in checkout, and housekeeping found it and turned it onto the front desk. I was able to get back and get my property. Rate number 1 for honesty and service.
But he rated it 2 stars with that review?
He went 4 stars.
Oh.
Ashante gave it 1 star. It's basically a brothel. 3-hour stays. Come on now. This place should definitely be investigated.
3-hour stays. Come on now. That's the Crest Motel way. Come on now.
Okay, in the first review, this might be the best review ever. The lady on the phone literally told me that they don't do overnight stays at this motel. Only 20.
By policy?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Crest Motel. No overnighters.
Get laid, don't stay. Their slogan should be Crest Motel. Get off and go.
Checkout's just about the time you check in.
Come and check out.
Hey, welcome to the Crest Motel. Here's your room 420B, and the condom machine is right next to that, so you're the lucky duck.
We suggest wearing a rubber hazmat suit when you fuck.
Here is your hotel key, and here is your can of Lysol. Please clean up on your way out. Our cleaning staff is on strike. By on strike, I mean I am the cleaning staff. I ain't doing that.
Have you ever stayed in a shitty hotel before?
Oh, definitely. We went down for a wrestling camp in Virginia when I was a sophomore in high school. And our wrestling coach, I don't know, was cheap or whatever. And we stayed in this dingy ass fucking roach motel on one of the worst sides of town that I think I've ever been in. Like right on the border of Virginia. We were like making our way towards Georgia, I think. And it was this scabious place. There was bugs everywhere. They had to roll out this like weird cot for me to sleep in. We made fun of our coach so bad. We like all laughed about it. But in hindsight, I remember leaning over the ledge, looking out at this shitty city. I was like, our mothers would never allow us to come here.
Life has to get better than this. Well, man, this has been awesome. I hope to see you sooner than later.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a fun conversation.
Well,
I still think a Cyclops, Old Man Cyclops is a good one.
Look, you should propose it to Marvel.
I'm going to write a letter.
if Marvel Comics, if the comic industry survives this, and I will read it, and if it's successful, I will come to you at a comic convention and go, you were right. This was a good idea.
Who would want to watch an old, stretchy, daddy-issued, broken-hearted, laser-eyed bastard? He's got...
But I don't understand how Cyclops is the ladies' man of the Marvel Universe beside Daredevil.
Yeah, he's tall. He's got cool sunglasses.
They look good in the 60s and 70s, but...
He rides a motorcycle.
So does Wolverine.
Yeah, but Wolverine's short. No one likes the short guy.
But Wolverine has healing.
He does have healing. He does have healing. He's immortal. I'd take the immortality over the concussive eye blast any day.
Yeah, I think if I could be any X-Men character, I would. God, I don't know who I would be.
There's so many of them. That's the best thing about X-Men is like even inside the Marvel universe, the X-Men is still this like vast array of heroes outside of like your Avengers, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they are. That's the problem I have with the X-Men. There's too many.
There's a lot of them. That's why I liked House of M because it really like broke it back down to the beginning of it.
You would really like the Hickman stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the best run since Grant Morrison.
Okay, I like Grant Morrison a lot.
The problem is there's too many books.
That is the thing. There's too many universes too. Like I'm like an Earth 616 guy, so like I can't really go out the realm of that. I get too confused. It's too much for me.
Did you watch Crisis on the DC shows?
I watched a lot of Arrow. I tried to watch some Flash. I can't get on board with the CW.
Okay.
I understand what they're trying to do. I get the gist of it. And in realms of competing with Avengers on like a TV show basis, kind of cool. But it's, yeah, really, I don't know. I get caught up in this is cheesy fucking soap opera type horseshit. I mean, it's superheroes, so.
Yeah, this is like 14-year-old Robert would love all the options now.
You know what I do like, though? I do like the DC's Teen Titans.
I like that show as well.
I think they did a pretty cool job with it.
I think Doom Patrol was a little bit better.
Oh, I see. I only got into like the first couple episodes of Doom Patrol, and I don't have DC, so like the way I would stream it is not convenient.
The Doom Patrol Titans, I think, will be on the new HBO Max.
Oh, dope.
Along with every episode of Boondocks and Rick and Morty, so I can finally see the last season of Rick and Morty.
Well, the second half of season 4 just came out.
Oh, good. Well, I don't have cable, so.
Yeah, neither do we.
I have to wait till.
We have like 4 to 5 different streaming services.
Yeah, I have HBO and Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah, we have HBO, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon.
I forgot about Disney Plus because I talked about it, yeah. I got Disney Plus just so I could get high and watch Fantasia, and I never can.
Oh, fucking rad. That's great.
All right, man. Well, I got to end this. We'll be back tomorrow with Connor Mead is in the hot seat.
She funny.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She was on the last show I performed before the world went crazy.
Yeah? Did she have to follow you?
I had to follow her.
Oh, equally as terrifying.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was Pizza and Hummus, Billy Reno.
Okay, so is that Trixie's?
No, this was in Troy.
Sneakers?
No, this wasn't Joanna's show. This was the Pizza and Hummus guys, Richie McClonis, Jared, and Victor.
Okay. I know them in passing. I haven't really had a lot of conversations with those fellas.
Really good, and their shows are fun. And speaking of shows, I know you're supposed to be my last one, and Adrian, hopefully you will still be here when this all goes back to normal, because I would love to have you on one of my shows.
Sure, yeah.
All right, cool, man, and we will see y'all tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Take care.